Thank you, IT guy. um, so we're going to start over then. I'm going to say today we're making crab cakes with imitation crab meat, and we're going to have fried green tomatoes as well. Hey, Joan, glad you're here today. Oh, my crazy dog's outside. We're going to start today, even though we're making the crab cakes and the fried green tomatoes. Both the sauces say to let them sit so that the flavors can marinate. So we are going to start with that. We're going to make these. Oh my goodness. I just, sorry, hang on. There we go. I use my iPad to make sure I'm live. So it started talking. So anyway, we're making this lovely remoulade. Now, listen, I have seen, it's so funny to watch people like have these debates over mayonnaise. And I got to tell you, I was never a real mayonnaise fan. But Duke's is, I'm going to say arguably the best because people argue over it all the time. I started with Duke's, and I know some of you have heard the story, but I started with Duke's because my brother gave me a pimento cheese recipe and said, do not use any other mayonnaise. This is the only one. So I did, and it was delicious. So this remoulade has a lot of ingredients. We start with our mustard. We have 2 tablespoons of Dijon. And we're just going to eyeball all this. We're going to let the ancestors tell us what to do. So there's the Dijon. Ooh, spicy. Tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I learned this a long time ago. This was one of those things. I'm going to move this bowl out of the way for now. One of those things I learned somewhere along the way from a chef possibly, but they suggested if you roll your citrus like this, that you'll get better juice out of it. Now, I don't need a lot of it, although we may use some of it on the crab cakes. My husband may. I'm not sure that's going to work. So I am going to cut this like this, and I'm not going to cut it halfway because I think this is going to have a lot of juice in it. So we'll see. I'm going to grab my little handy dandy measuring tool. If you can get your hands on one of these for like liquid measures, this has ounces on it. It has milliliters on it. It has tablespoons on it. It has teaspoons on it. It's really nice to have. So I'm going to squeeze in. You know what? I think I can use this actually for that end. It's not, yeah, now I can get it in there. Got myself. And before it goes in my eye, I'm going to grab a paper towel. Lemon juice in the face. Woo! Okay. So yep, we're right at 1 tablespoon. Like I said, I knew that was going to be a juicy lemon. So, yeah, it's kind of a nice thing, getting more juice out of it. I mean, that was just that little part, and I could probably get a little more out of it. Not going to worry about it today. Like I said, I may cut these up later for my husband to put over his crab cakes. I don't think anything else needs lemon. Pretty sure it doesn't. So into the dishwater that goes. So there's lemon everywhere. I'm going to give that a little stir just to get us started. And then I went ahead beforehand. I went out. I remembered my parsley today. Woohoo! And I went ahead and chopped that up so it didn't get all wilty before I could get a chance to chop it. I love being able to walk out and just get myself some fresh herbs. It's so cool. I feel kind of fancy when I do that, when I go get my own herbs. So, and then this says 1 tablespoon of Louisiana style. This is what I got. So this is what we're using. I know Joan won't be mad about me using Cholula. Not exactly Louisiana, but close enough. About a tablespoon of that. And I'm not into big, like super hot stuff anyway, so we'll see how that goes. And then I need 2 teaspoons of whole grain mustard. So this is, we have a cheese shop at our local, I'd say that's about 2 teaspoons, maybe a tiny bit more. But we have a cheese shop, and it calls for whole grain mustard, and that's not easy to find, believe it or not, around here. So I was glad to find it. And it was at this lovely cheese shop. I guess it pairs well with, I think it even tells you on here. Yeah, awesome with Gruyere, duck mousse pate, and cornichons. There you go. Now you know. These weird little things we learn, right? I'm not sure how many people would call me fancy, that's for sure. Okay, and then 2 cloves of garlic minced, it says. I'm not in the mood to peel. And I had to throw away my already peeled garlic because it was getting gross. So we are going to take 2. Love this thing. I don't even need to peel the garlic. It's a big one. They're both big because we like it garlicky. All right, you. Behave. I thought I was going to be able to do it this way. Maybe not. It's not liking it. Let's try turning it around, see if that works. There we go. That's better. Okay. A little bit of extra garlic right there. And pull this thing out. That'll be 1. Good, because fancy is not what I aspire to. That's for sure, Joan. You know that. That's funny. You're fancy. You fancy. Oh, there we go. Garlic clove number 2. Good. That's why I get 2 big ones, because then I know I'll have enough. It'll be garlicky enough. My husband likes to say there will be no vampires in this house. So, okay, I need some warm water. There we go. Rinse that off. Garlic can be sticky, you know? So I need about 2 teaspoons. Is it Trudijo? Is that how you say your name? From Arizona? Love it. Welcome on in. So, sorry, those are my dogs going crazy. One of the neighbor dogs must be out. Going to have a neighborhood powwow. And I need about 2 teaspoons of capers. So I'm not going to go too heavy on those. My husband's not a huge fan, which is why I really need to he doesn't like the texture, so I'm gonna really dice them up fine. I don't need that anymore, so it can go into the dishwater. So tell me, what's going on in Wilcox, Arizona? Is it hot? Is it, let's see, I have a friend who lives in Boise, and their air quality is god awful right now because there are wildfires in eastern Oregon that are just, and Boise's in a valley, so it's just really bad there right now. Their air quality is just horrible. So, but IT guy is in San Francisco where the weather is just peachy. Although I can't complain. It's only going to go up to like 80 degrees here today. It's gorgeous out. So, hot and very sunny. Yep. That's what I remember being in Arizona in the summertime. We were there for, my husband was there for almost all of the 100 days over 100 degrees. What was that, two summers ago? And I was there for a couple weeks of it. And someone is going to pay for your hotel room because he was working. He had to work, but it was fun to go out and hang out for a little while. Let's see, what else have we got here? So I need a teaspoon of Worcestershire. Oh. Again, we're eyeballing stuff, so we can always fiddle with it if we have to. So, you know, we heard that from somebody else who lives in the Arizona area, that you had your monsoon season. I did not know that until I came out to visit during that heat wave. And we got there like right after a really big rain. I had never ever seen Arizona that wet. It was kind of cool. So, and my husband was telling me like some of the trenches that they dig out for when you guys do have those monsoons. He was like, there are people saying like some of these have never had water in them before. So it was wild. So I need a teaspoon of paprika. Close. All right. So I think it's fascinating because we have so many different climates and things in this country, and I love to learn about that stuff and things that make your area unique, if you will. So I don't know what they're all about today. Add a little more paprika. It would probably be a little more orange if I put a little more hot sauce in there, but c'est la vie, as they say. All right, and then I have one of my giant scallions from outside that I've chopped up, part of it. This says one, but if you saw the size of my scallions, they're about this tall. Each of the fronds on it, they went crazy. I replanted some, and they just went nuts. So I'm not complaining. I'm just enjoying the ability to use them. So that's one of those things that if you buy it at the grocery, you can replant it, at least around here. I know it's different everywhere. This calls for kosher salt. I'm not going to do that yet. And okay. I know I had cayenne around here somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. Let me see here. Oh, there it is. Cayenne. And it's like 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I'm just going to give it a little. That's about right. Okay. All right. Give that a mixy mix. And I'm using the recipe from Serious Eats for this one. So, hey, Ruby. Good to see ya. I believe that. I've heard that. October, and I've heard March is a really good time to visit as well. Like after the spring break stuff. I thought it said pepper. Nope, just cayenne. You know what? I'm going to add a little pepper just for fun. Because, you know, certain recipes I feel like you can play with. This would be one of them. All right, so our first sauce is made. And I can tell the longer it sits, the better it's going to taste. So I'm going to set that to the side. Next, we're making what's called a comeback sauce. I saw that this was really good for what we're having today. So for the tomatoes and for the crab cakes, this one's a little simpler. Not nearly as many ingredients. So let's see here. We've got half a cup of mayonnaise. And I would lay money that after we eat tonight, that my husband will mix these two just for fun. Need a little more of the mayonnaise. I think this is the fastest I've ever gone through a thing of mayonnaise. Just all the sauces and stuff we've made lately. All right, so that's about right. And then I need, not to do that, I just broke my husband's mug. Lovely. Oh no, I wish I'd, oh man. Oh, he's going to be so sad. Oh, you guys. Oh, it's from our granddaughter. Oh, I can fix it, but oh man. Dang it. Okay. Rats. He drinks his hot chocolate out of that every night. We drink one of the mushroom hot chocolates to help us sleep at night. So, darn it. Don't tell him, my tea guy. I'll tell him myself. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm about to call this the disaster show. It's like something happens every day. Crazy. So, and then this again calls for like Texas Pete. We're going to use the Cholula again. This is 2 tablespoons. That's a little much for me. Husband can add more if he wants. I'm going to do just a little over, maybe a tablespoon and a half. So, yeah, me too. I know there are ceramic glues out there, or we can have one. That was from our granddaughter. We now have a grandson also, so I'm wondering if my daughter-in-law can get one from both of them. That would be really nice. So anyway, a teaspoon of Worcestershire. And if you happen to be in the UK, and you know I'm gluten-free, this one is gluten-free in the US. Apparently it's not over there. I didn't realize for the longest time. I thought that was the only, I mean, Cholula's got a bunch of different hot sauces in their brand. So, and they need a little bit of garlic powder, which again, I know I got out. Where did I put it? There it is, garlic powder. About a half teaspoon of that. At least that's what it calls for. In my house, we were talking about that. You can't over garlic too much. I mean, you wouldn't want to go crazy, but, and then this one's got some black pepper in it as well. So it's about a quarter of a teaspoon. That's about right. So mixy. No crispy so far. So, oh, and by the way, for those of you who are regulars, I will not be here on Monday. My last uncle passed away. And, well, there's a lot going on right now in my life. My cousins lost both their parents in the last 6 months, and I couldn't make it to the last funeral. So I definitely want to make it there. And that's why I won't be here. So, well, that's an interesting taste. It almost tastes sweet, which is weird. There's nothing sweet in here. Oh, the ketchup, but now I know why they want so much hot sauce in there, though, because it counteracts the sweet. I'm going to add a little more of the hot sauce. So, you know, Ruby, the thing is, and this is why I know he'll be sad, but there's so much going on in this world. Like I said, my cousins lost both of their parents, and I just know so many people in so many different struggles that a broken mug is like the least of your worries, right? So this is another one we're supposed to let sit. So now we got our sauces. Oh yeah, that's better. With a little extra hot sauce in there. Okay. Now this guy gets to go in here. In the dishes. Or dishwater, whatever. Oh. IT guy, if you're still listening, we need to have a chat when we're done here. I talked to your brother today. So. Okay. Next up, we are going to make some fried green tomatoes. This is a first for me. So I've never done this before, so it'll be fun. We'll figure it out. I did find a place. I couldn't find green tomatoes for a while. That was a little scary, but I found myself some nice green tomatoes. And the recipe says that you should cut them a quarter to a half-inch thick, the slices. So that is what we're going to do. What I think I will probably do is about a quarter of an inch. I'm going to try to go about a quarter, I think. Interesting. They're kind of orange inside. So, and these are local tomatoes. It's an interesting thing. One of my sons lives in San Francisco. And we met a couple out there at the farmer's market. And it was really funny because they said they're from Michigan originally. And they said that they loved being out there because of all of the fresh produce, except for tomatoes. They're like, there is no tomato like a Midwest tomato in the middle of the summertime. And I had never heard that before, but that was their characterization of it. So they said they just don't have the soil for it in California. So they have more of a sandy soil. So yeah, this is a new one for me, Joan. I love them. Didn't have them until I was an adult, but which is funny because we knew a bunch of country people that's apparently, yeah, well, again, my uncle lived a great life. I just feel bad for my cousins that they lost both of their parents so quickly. And there's an interesting story that my cousin told. She said that when her daughter was born, her dad was already, he would have been 40 or close to 40, or maybe close to 41. But she told him he had to stick around till her daughter graduated from high school. And he promised that he would do that. And he passed a month after, or it's 2 months ago, she graduated from high school. And she said at the time, you know, she said, I wish I'd told my mom the same thing. She said, but I thought my mother was going to live forever. So, hey, Christy, welcome in. So anyway, but yeah, once again, my uncle lived a really good life. He really, really did. So I need a cup of this. These are things because I have been a messy cook my whole life. One of the things we do is we only take off half, because if you need a level teaspoon or whatever, that makes it really easy to level it like that. So we do that with baking powder and cornstarch, pretty much anything that has one of these kind of lids on it, or, you know, pieces of foil. But I'm a messy cook. I've always been a messy cook. I don't know if it's the ADHD, could be. But So I have ways to try to minimize those things. I also was really, really messy starting a sink full of hot water. If you are an ADHD person, to be able to just put it right in the water, it really does make it easier to clean up. Because if you've got the dishes everywhere, it's just overwhelming. And this makes it a lot less overwhelming. So that is a cup of cornstarch because we're doing this gluten-free. It would be flour otherwise. So we're going to do cornstarch. Let's see here. So they call for a cast iron. I'll switch to the cast iron. I can do that. I'm going to grab out my big old cast iron from underneath my sink here, or I think underneath my stove. But anyway, also being an ADHD person, another thing I found to be very helpful, and I do it for stream because it helps with time, but I do it even when I'm not on stream just to help with cooking in general. I get out all my ingredients. Number one, to make sure I have them. Can't tell you how many times I've been missing an ingredient in the middle of cooking and been like, ugh. And it's something like I can't get away with not using kind of thing. So anyway, can I cook like Julia Child? No, I am not a chef. I don't aspire to be a chef. I'm a home cook. I'm gluten-free. I want people, I know she made elevated food accessible. I just want people to be able to eat easily and happily. So, and not that she didn't, but it's just a different thing. So anyway, all right. So this says to add your oil till it's about 1/2 inch deep for this. So, yep, yesterday they were asking about you, Joan, and today we were asking about Chrissy. Glad everybody's here. Glad everybody's okay. Grateful for all of you and for all of it. So, all right. I need to like move on because I'm getting emotional about weird things in my head. So, okay. I am going to make sure everything is set up. Then I'm going to turn on my oil because again, ADHD thing, it can cause you problems. Actually, I will go ahead and turn it on, but I'm going to turn it on a lower temp to get it going. Yes, I love Julia too. I think what she did was amazing. So no shade to her. It's just not something I even aspire to be honest. All right, I need 2 cups of cornmeal. We're home cooks, and we're home cooks who like to cook, and we like to talk about cooking, and we share tips, and we share all kinds of fun things. I've learned from all these ladies here, and a couple guys too, but it's just mostly women. It's not like I don't have a problem if there's men here. Just we usually have mostly women. So, yeah, we've been talking about. I can't remember his last name. I got to look him up. The guy, the Cajun cook. His name was Justin, and he was great. He was so much fun. We're talking about he cooked with a little wine, little mo wine. It was funny. So, all right. So I need. Yep. Okay. Eggs. Wash my hands. Because yuck. I got egg yuck on them. Actually, it's egg white, not egg yolk. Sorry, bad joke. That's a dad joke. Listen to me doing dad jokes. Okay, and then I need a cup of buttermilk. So Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Justin Wilson, you are correct. Thank you. He was great. And maybe I loved him so much because I have an aunt who was Cajun. And so, like, hearing them talk, and instead of saying three or four, he'd say four tree, you know, four tree times. And I love that. I loved that cadence when I visited my aunt down there. There is no accent to compare to a Cajun accent. So, because I got just that little bit of French lilt in there. So it's 2 eggs, 1 cup of buttermilk. We got our cornstarch. We got our cornmeal. Which, by the way, I checked this because I happen to have a box of polenta, and I didn't think I had cornmeal, but I do. You can substitute polenta for cornmeal, but polenta tends to have cornmeal has a finer grind. Let's put it that way. And so they suggested that you that if you're going to use polenta, to either be aware that you're going to have that grind. Sorry, I'm having problems pulling this apart. Or you pop it in your food processor for just a minute or two. I am going to add a little bit of salt to this one for the breading process. I need to wipe my nose, you guys. Yes, Cajun is a world all of its own, and it's a fun world if you're accepted. If you're not, don't stick around. All right. I know you guys are hot. I'm going to let my dogs in, guys. They're so warm out there. All right. Come on, you crazies. Come on, you goofy goobers. You look like you're drunk because they've been out in the sun. And my one, he will not stay away from the sun. He literally lays in the sun, and it's like he gets his brain baked or something. So, yeah, Wilson. Wilson and Olive are my We are making crab cakes and fried green tomatoes. We have already made our remoulade sauce to go with it, and we've made something called a comeback sauce to go with it. And now we're getting ready to get a little messy. So I'm going to check the temp of the oil. We got a ways to go on the oil, but that's okay. I'm going to keep that right here. I'll tell you guys, it took me forever to buy one of these. They're like $10 on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them other places as well. I know I could go to places like Williams-Sonoma or Sur La Table and get a really good one, but I just wanted to try it. I have thermometers, but not an instant read like this. I am so glad I bought one of these. I really am. Okay, so we're going to... Okay. I need a piece of parchment paper. Oh, do I have some here? No, I do not. Alrighty. I'm gonna grab myself a piece of this. And I do apologize that I have to keep walking off camera. I miss IT guy, and I'm a little discombobulated, to say the least, with everything going on. So, on the bright side, though, my other son, my oldest son, the one who is the daddy of my grandbabies, we get to see them this weekend, which will do my heart good. Do my heart, my soul, and everything else good. Other than the fact that I have to clean my house. because company's coming. And I know they're just kids, but there's dog hair everywhere. So, yeah, definitely. So, uh, oh, you Googled it. Oh, thank you. Well, that's what I would have done, Ruby. So, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. So, this suggests that you put them in the cornstarch. Hang on, let me get rid of this stuff. Again, less stuff in the way. And then we're going to put this over here where I can read it. And I'll put these right here. And I'm not going to cook them all just because I have a feeling warming these up, they're not going to have near the impact of cooking them, you know? So I will wait for the hubs to get home to cook some of them for him. So, and then it says, it's interesting. It's not really, you know how with flour, it just soaks it right up. I'm not doing that so much with the cornstarch, but that's okay. But then it says to kind of press the cornmeal into it. So you want to make sure you get it all covered up. And then it says to put them on a parchment sheet while you do the rest of them. So, cornstarch. Then the buttermilk and egg mixture. Then the cornmeal. And then we shake it off. Shake it off. All right, so we got a couple more of these to go, so we'll keep going with that. So, all right. Like I said, this one, worth its weight in gold. Anybody got a particular kitchen gadget that they love? Like one of those, my favorite are the kind where you're like, gosh, I didn't even know I needed this until I got it. And then I was like, what in the world? Why did I wait so long to get this? And that is truly what, and again, I've told this story before, but I have a sister-in-law that we got a second KitchenAid mixer. We actually got a third one. We have the regular size one. We have a large size one for some holiday baking that we do because we do big batches. And then we got a second smaller one. And I offered it to my sister-in-law. She's like, I don't need this thing. And I was like, just take it. I said, make your Christmas cookies with it. I think you'll like it. So that was probably 10 years ago. She still calls me every year to thank me for giving it to her. And somebody gave it to us, so I didn't. So it was, I was just passing it along. But I knew she made a fair amount of cookies and stuff. So, and she makes fudge and stuff. So there are always plenty of sweet treats at my husband's family's holiday gathering. But I have like 5 different whisks. I love a good whisk. I probably have 6 or 7 spatulas for different things. We even have a cookie spatula. We have several actually. And that is one of my husband's favorite things. Are having the size spatula that he wants. Excuse me. So I know. I've never tried it before either, so we'll see how this goes. Are we gonna make it? I think we're close. Come on. Seriously? There we go. All right. We're good. Here we go. All right. Ladies and gently, because I don't need a splash. I don't know about y'all. All right. For anybody who's hanging out, if you're not subscribed, please do. IT guy and I would so appreciate it. We're doing our best to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're hoping to get there Labor Day or before. That's the hope. And oh, you weren't here, Christy. I will not be here on Monday. I'll be going to my uncle's funeral, and I will. They are. I thought we might be back in time, but he's getting a full military funeral, so the military honors are not until the afternoon, and we're going to be several hours away. So we will stay for that. My husband has never seen a full, and neither have I, a full military honors funeral. So pretty amazing. My cousin, again, this is her father. She took him on an honor flight. He did 3 consecutive tours in Vietnam. And she did not know until she took her father, because they read off the accomplishments of everybody who was there and how long they served and everything. She didn't know her dad won a Bronze Star, which is, I guess, a pretty big deal. I don't really know about military honors other than a Purple Heart. So, but a Bronze Star I do know is a big deal. So, anywho, that qualifies him for a full military honors and funeral. So, and he's Army. So, if that means anything to anyone, I'm just letting you know. Okay. All right, you want to hear something funny? Again, ADHD. Remember I bought this recently? I already had one. I didn't buy the other one. When we cleaned out my mom's house, when she went into assisted living, I grabbed one. Forgot I did it. So, thank you. But, you know, I keep saying he was 87 years old, lived a great life, lived a very full life. Sorry for us, sorry for my cousins, but not sorry for him, because, you know, people get tired. And my mother-in-law was the same way. She was 91, and she had dementia. And when she passed, everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you know, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, but I wasn't sorry, because she had dementia. She didn't know her children. She had forgotten that her husband's name, which was really hard for my husband's sisters in particular, because they took care of her most of the time. It was hard for them, and they did a wonderful job. I mean, we all pitched in where we could, but my 2 sister-in-laws especially did so much work, and were just so wonderful to my mother-in-law. And we actually, when my mother-in-law went into, actually it was when my father-in-law went into hospice care 30 years ago. No, it was my mother-in-law. When she went in, the hospice said, because she was getting hospice at home, and hospice said, are you sure you're ready for this? And they said, absolutely, we're ready. And they said, well, how many siblings do you have? And my sister-in-law said, 8. And they said, you're not going to like this, but we're going to need to talk to at least half of them to make sure you all agree. And so she's like, here, you can call all 8 of them. It's fine. Well, my other sister-in-law was there. They're like, you can call all 7 of them. And they called like 5 of the 7. And they were like, oh my God, we've never had a family so in agreement on a treatment like this. They're like, there's always one who doesn't want this. And we were all, and she was like, nah, we all know better. You know, this is for her, not to her. So anyway, flip these guys over. I think they're getting nice and browned. So anyway, but if you've not ever dealt with hospice, They are the most incredible people. I truly say that they are angels on earth. If you believe in angels, they are angels on earth. They do such good work. So, alrighty. So there we go on that. I'm going to just let those 5 go. And while we're doing that, yeah, yep, as much as you can. And my husband's the baby, so he didn't get tapped for a lot of things, because even though my husband is now 60 years old, he was about 55 when this happened. Yeah, even though he's was 55 years old, he's still the baby, which is kind of funny. So, what was that all about? I don't know. Goofy dogs. All right, so if you missed it at the top of the hour when I was talking about this, I am using flake style surimi. It's called surimi seafood. So essentially fake crab or imitation crab, however you want to look at it. And the reason I'm doing that is because this was $10 a pound. So this is, well, for 24 ounces, it's a little over a pound. But so it was like $10. The same amount of crab, well, a pound of crab would have been $30. So for something I've never made before, I'm not going to spend $30 and mess it up. So, and I figure if it's good enough for Japanese people to use in sushi, which they do on occasion, it's good enough for me. So I'm going to turn this down because it's starting to get hotter than it should. And I'm going to break this up just like crab, believe it or not. This is actually made with pollock. So, yeah, absolutely. So, it actually kind of looks like crab as that piece falls down. You know, you can get the sticks. See, that almost looks like a piece out of a leg. So, they've done a good job of doing that. I just want to kind of break it up. I don't want super small pieces. My husband prefers not to have those. He likes the bigger, like, chunks where he can bite into it. So he loves a crab cake. And he actually ate the, thank you for asking for that. If you guys ever want me to do stuff like that, please ask. So, yeah, hospice is amazing. So I probably should have done this before I cooked those, but can't have everything. Where would you put it, right? Okay, so I'm still going to rinse these even though I got my hands in gloves just to be able to touch everything else. Okay, and then pull off a towel here. Hopefully won't overcook these. I'm going to flip this over and just brown it a little more on the other side. Now that I've seen these guys. Oh, this isn't even brown on that side yet. So I'm going to put that back that way. See what this one looks like. Yeah, back on this side. Back on this side. And this guy, I think, nope, still can cook some more. Good. Good, good, good. So we're good there. All right, I'm going to put this back, get it out of the way. And you're really kind of in the way, Bubba. So, all right, there's our, there it is. It's like, where's my recipe? Okay, I've got this. I already pre-chopped a celery stalk, just one is all it called for. Got that going. And then a tablespoon and a half of minced onion. I wasn't going to mince an entire onion. I do have this for when I need it. So I'm going to do a little more than 1.5 teaspoons. Just because it's not as not as pungent. And then gonna put 1 egg in. And then 1.5 teaspoons of chives. About that. And then I need a little garlic powder. We're talking about it says 3/4 of a teaspoon. Might be close to a teaspoon. I'm not mad about that. A teaspoon of Old Bay. My husband finished up. Oh no, a little heavy on the Old Bay. All right, that's everything there. And then 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise. And I'm about out. I may not have that much. We'll be close. All right. And I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to, whatever I've got in here, because this is the last of my mayonnaise. Got it on the list already because I realized I was going to run out today. Between all the sauces and things. Yeah, we're way short. Oh well. Pray for me. If I had measured it all out before, I would have known, but I didn't. So, all right. So we've got that. And then some ground pepper. I need 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Ish. Maybe a little more. Okay. Now, I am going to get these fried green tomatoes out of here. Whoa. Hold on there, Bubba. Put those over so I can salt them, and the salt will. Oh, that's a thought. You know what? I'll go grab another egg. All right. I'm going to salt these guys first because if you want the salt to stick, you do it right when it comes out. Ow. Glad I got the glove on. All right. I'm going to hit that with some salt. Y'all. Dogs. Okay. That's a good idea. Extra binder since we don't have any more mayonnaise. Who said that? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, it is Alaskan. It is pollock, so that I do know. Yeah, it's still seafood. Well, I figured crab is great and all, but you know, it's a nice substitute. So I wish I'd have thought of it before I mixed all this stuff up that I need to turn my heat back up. So, you know what? You know what I might do? I'm just going to get a scoop. Yeah. So, I'll leave one glove on for now, just in case. Turn that back up. Although I could just This is going to be interesting. I'm afraid they're going to fall apart. Where's my crab cake recipe? Okay. You know what? I'm just going to put another glove on, I think. I think that'll be the easiest way, because then I can lay them in the grease and stuff. So there you go. What I'd love to do, honestly, and I know it would cost some money, but I would love to do like a retreat where we can all cook and just hang out and eat good food and just have a weekend, you know? I think people need that, a space where everybody can just kind of hang out. I'm not sure this is going to bind, to be honest. We're about to find out. Now, I know there's some that don't put any breadcrumbs in, which these are gluten-free breadcrumbs, but oh yeah, it's falling apart. What am I going to do? Now I'm annoyed. Okay, let's go with more breadcrumbs first. They're just not sticking together at all. All right, somebody want to Google for me? My crab cakes won't stick together. See what it says. That's a hot mess in there, you guys. That's hilarious. You know what? Looks like that might have helped. Might do that again. That was a thought too. I don't know if that'll bind it though, as well. I don't know. It seems really wet, so maybe that is my problem, is that it's just too wet. As I burn these, you guys, that's a mess in there. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it's just not good. I don't think I want to add any more moisture to it, to be honest. So that's looking more like what I need it to look like. I don't think there's any way to flip this. It's not even together enough. Well, maybe. Yeah, it's just missing the binder, so it's really a mess. But I'll get it out of there eventually. Ah, time in the fridge. That's probably what we needed to do. Dang on it. You know what? I'll try the green tomatoes. We'll let it sit in the fridge for a few minutes. What a god-awful mess I've made. Oh well. We'll see how it goes. All right. It doesn't say to chill it in this one, but that I can see that would make a difference. Yeah, does not say that, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw it in the fridge. Even if it's 5-10 minutes, it will hopefully make a difference. Man, I'm going through the gloves today. Okay, into the fridge it goes. Oh. Lesson learned. Okay, now I got to try to get this mess out of here. Okay. And this is why we do it live. Because I could have tried this on my own. I could have come up with something, you know, and then when it falls apart for somebody, it's not a disaster, you know? It's just a mistake. We all make them. I can't even put this to drain it. I'm going to actually turn this off for now because I don't want that grease getting too hot. So, okay. I'm going to scoop as much as I can out of here. So, this is true. No, a boiled potato. Regina, I've never heard that. That's an interesting addition to it. So, y'all are going to send me down a rabbit hole figuring out how to make better crab cakes. Now, my husband will be delighted if I keep trying this. I mean, with the imitation crab only being $10, it's worth it to like play around with it. Well, I'm not going to hang out here for 30 minutes. You know, I know you guys have other things to do, but I will put it in there for just like 10, 15 minutes. We'll see if that helps it hold. And if it does, maybe I'll just throw one in there. And if it does, maybe I'll throw it back in there. So I think it's cooked enough that we'll know that if the flavor is good. So I am going to grab a fork. Ooh, a lot of oil. I'm going to get a little of the oil off because I don't need all that. And then I'm going to grab, I'm the one home. I get the pretty one, right? Okay. And then we've got our two sauces here. I'm going to try them. This is the remoulade. So I'm going to put a little bit of the remoulade. You know what? I'm just going to put it to the side here. And then this is the comeback sauce, which was something that was recommended as a sauce for crab cakes. So that on that side. Similar, but yeah, I might do that next time. Like put a boiled potato in there. That's a great idea. Yeah. Well, you know, mistakes are part of the whole process. We're all human. Anybody who pretends that they're perfect, I don't know. I think there's an insecurity there, to be honest. Because I remember when I thought I had to be perfect. It all came from insecurity. So, okay, here we go. That has a really nice like crust on it. I like the cornstarch, and so we'll see how it tastes. Mm-hmm. You're right, Christy. Mm. That remoulad's good. And the thing is, I don't feel the need necessarily to taste just the fried green tomato. I don't know anybody who just eats a fried green tomato plain. Maybe some people do. But you know what I would think would be really, really good with this? And unless you're from the South, you may not agree. Um, if you made like a pimento cheese, I have a great pimento cheese recipe. If you made that and added some either buttermilk or just regular milk and thinned it out, I think that would taste so good with these. Okay. I think I actually like the comeback sauce better with it than the remoulade. Wow. That's so good. And they're good and crispy. I will tell you that. They're super crispy. All right. Now I'm going to get a little bit of this. This is sitting right next to the comeback sauce, so we'll just do this part first. Um, get that in there and give us a bite. Again, that comeback sauce is so good. When I tasted them separately, I like the remoulade better, but with this stuff, I actually like the comeback sauce better. And that one, fried green tomatoes. The comeback sauce is from a website called She Wears Many Hats. And it's just mayonnaise, ketchup, hot sauce, Worcestershire, garlic powder, and black pepper. So there you go. I'm going to try this with the remoulade. The nice thing about remoulade and the comeback sauce is, I mean, crab is, even the imitation crab, it's very rich tasting. So that kind of cuts that richness. They both work. And now I'm going to do the Mr. 513 thing. And I'm going to mix them. Because like he says, it's all about the sauce. So I'm going to try them mixed together. Grab a piece of that fried green tomato. And if you're listening and you're from the South, I'm not making fun of you. I literally live across the river from the South. And I was told in college all the time that I sounded Southern, which I think is hilarious. But that was from by people from the East Coast who had never really been around Southerners. And I was like, if you think I sound Southern, y'all got something to, and I do say y'all, but it's like, y'all got something to learn. So, but they said what made me sound Southern is, I call this a spoon. I call that thing up in the sky a moon. And they said that sounds Southern to them. So, again, these were people from, like, the Northeast. Not so much the Mid-Atlantic kids, but the Northeast kids. Especially like the Connecticut, Massachusetts. I say kids, but I mean, I know we were adults, but we were all kids. Okay, I like that the best. I like the two bits the best. I'll have Mr. 513 try it both ways. But I think he's going to be really, really happy with all of it. And there's definitely too much for us to eat for ourselves. So we'll have to figure out if we're going to freeze these. And not the tomatoes, but freeze them and maybe try them later. Or if or he can thaw them out as he wants them, or whatever. So, okay, it's been about 10 minutes. So let's see if chilling it helped. If it didn't, I'll put it back in for 30 minutes, and you guys will have to remember to ask me next Tuesday, because I can almost guarantee I won't remember to tell you. So, give me just a second here. All right. Ooh. Okay. It does look like it's tightened up a bit, so that's nice. So next week, we're in August next week already, you guys. Can you imagine? So I could do that. Yeah, on the face. I could do that. I could see if we can. Hey, T-Guy, we need to figure out how to do that. Put some reviews on the community page if we can. Maybe you and I can work on that together tomorrow, since we're not going live tomorrow. Maybe that's what we can do during that time. I wish y'all were closer. You know you'd be invited for dinner, right? All right, let's turn it back on. So that would be so fun, you guys. Really would. All right, I'm gonna eat this one while we're waiting. Give it a couple minutes. Most people would probably want to add some salt, maybe more than I added, but I'm perfectly okay with it. The thing is, about 3 to 4 minutes per side, and those tomatoes are just, they're like the perfect texture. And those were really firm tomatoes. So if I knew you were coming, that would give me incentive to clean. Oh man. Because tomorrow I will be making for my grandson. They found out I used to make this for my kids instead of birthday cake. Now my grandkids love it. I would make a giant crispy treat. Sorry, cornstarch or cornmeal. I would make a giant Rice Krispie treat, like a double batch, and then I would make it in. I would make it in the shape of whatever number year old they were. So I started doing that. I think when my oldest turned 7, and 7 was easy. Actually, I started it way before, or I think I started before that. But 7 was a nice, easy number. But then, we had 6, and we had 8, and we had 9. And I told them I could only do single digits. Once they hit 10, they had to think of something else. Oh, look at that. Way better after having been in the fridge for a while. Yay. Okay, let's see if it holds together in the pan. That's the next question. And I'm going to lay this in with the spatula instead of my hand. So, and before I do that, I'm going to test the, I always say, if I cook for you, you know I love you. So that's always been a thing. And I've cooked for most of the people I really care about. We're there. Okay. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. It looks so nice. And I am going to probably put it right back into I might make the patties and then put them back in the fridge because that'll make it easier. They can just stay cold and stay in that shape. Put them on parchment paper and pop them in there. Yeah, I do need to make some of these chunks smaller because the big chunks do fall off. So that is something to know, that you might want to shred them a little bit smaller for that reason. Just because I had the same thing happen for the one in there. A big chunk of it fell off. So it is a fun birthday idea. They do, and they love it because it's not cake. It's just something different. And like my daughter-in-law's family, they don't do regular birthday cakes either. They do ice cream cakes from Dairy Queen. It took me a second. I'm like, I know it. It's right there up the street. So, but yeah, they do a Dairy Queen cake, ice cream cake. Now I can't eat those because they're not gluten-free, but the regular Rice Krispies are not gluten-free. But the Um, the Kroger brand, if you have Kroger down by you, or out by you or wherever, but if you have Kroger's brand is gluten-free. So regular ones have barley malt, and barley has gluten in it. So just in case you wanted to know, I found out barley had gluten in it by mistake. Oh, it was a terrible mistake, but it was a mistake. So I found out because I ate barley soup, not knowing, and I was so sick. And up until then, because I didn't test positive for celiac, I was beginning to believe the people who said it was all in my head, until it wasn't in my head. It was in my stomach, and I really just felt awful. And the thing is, for me, if I get that glutened, if you will, for lack of a better term, if I get glutened that badly, it takes like 3 days before I feel better. And that was even with taking some activated charcoal, which helps you process it. So, okay, that's about right too, because it says to make, well, no, we must have made them smaller, but it says it'll make 8. But we also had more, we did have more of the surimi than they called for. So we had about 4 ounces more. So we have an extra couple. All right, done with that. Need to flip that. Should have left my glove on for that. Could it? Oh yeah, that looks nice. I can't imagine he's home this early, but you guys want to go outside? All right. Well, he's not home yet. I need to call him and prepare him for his mug. Hopefully he won't be mad at me. He doesn't get mad. I shouldn't even say that. So, yeah, it's your whole digestive system that gets messed up when you get gluten like that, and it's just miserable. I'm going to put these guys on this plate or platter, and then I'm going to put them back in the fridge. See if my neighbor wants a couple of these. If she doesn't, then I will probably be running these down. Like I said, we'll either freeze them or we'll run them down to my sister-in-law. I have 2 brother-in-laws that, God love them, they live with her, and they'll eat anything and enjoy it. That's the thing. It's like, it's not just, oh, just give it to them, they'll eat anything, but it's like they'll actually enjoy whatever you make. So, all right, those are in there to chill until he comes home. And then let's see about, oh yeah, perfect. Okay. Put that right there. And I'm going to gently put this in the dishwater so it's not all gross. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but after a meal like this, I'm going to feel like tomorrow I need to eat really, really healthy. So, yeah, it definitely stops plans right in their tracks, because it's like all I want to do is lay on the couch and wait for it to pass. So, okay. Imagine this is pretty hot. So yeah, my only thing is, I think, yeah, next time I would definitely, even though he likes like some crunch or bigger pieces, hi Ella. Even though he likes some of the bigger pieces, I think it's just better for the texture of the crab cake to go smaller. But oh yeah, it's still just as good. It actually has like a nice texture to it. There's almost like a bit of a crunch in there. So it's like all these different, the soft fish, the um, crunchy breadcrumbs, really good. And again, I'm gonna mix those sauces, so they're so good together. So I think you could actually make the remoulade and maybe just add some ketchup to it, and it would just give it a little bit of sweetness that. Um, oh, are you getting tested for celiac, Ruby, or for that kind of thing? So yeah, I'm calling that a success. Look at that; it looks so pretty. I mean, look at that, so nice. And it's kind of got. I mean, the rest of the plate is a mess. Tastes great, but it's just a mess. So anyway, there we are. Took a little while, but we got there. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. The extra egg, I think, did a lot. The extra breadcrumbs did a lot. And I will be trying the boiled potato next time. I think that's a fantastic idea. So we may be making these again sometime in the future. Y'all, you know how I feel about you. But when things are kind of crazy, you especially appreciate the important people and the people who show up for you. So I just want to thank you for showing up. And I will miss you guys on Monday. I'll see you back here on Tuesday. The plan right now is to make French onion meatballs. Um, sounds good, doesn't it? And something IT guy wouldn't be thrilled with. So it's good to make that when he's not here. Um, I wish you all the best weekend that you could possibly have. If it's anything like it is here, we are going to have like unseasonably cool weather this weekend. It's only going to be in the 70s. Um, so beautiful as far as temperature, but it's supposed to rain all weekend. So we'll take that. We'll take that. But anyway, um, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it turned out well too. And again, if you're looking for the recipe for the crab cakes, it was it's the green tomatoes. Where are my crab cakes? Just in case you want to go find their recipe. And it is with imitation crab. Shoot, I don't know where the website is. But Joan, if you're wanting to try it and you want the recipe, I think it's still up on my computer. So send me a message on Messenger, and I will get you the recipe. So, because I'll know just by looking which one it is. So, thank you guys so much. Crohn's, whole different kind of thing. So, I wish you good testing. I wish you good answers and something that you can take care of very easily. But anyway, y'all have a wonderful weekend. I will see you back here on Tuesday. I will miss you while I'm gone. And I'm sure I'll have lots to share when I get back. So, my very first military funeral. So, love you guys. Take care. Remember to eat well and be well. See you soon. Love you. Bye.